Good evening and thank you for joining us. Tonight we'll be hosting the Honors and Advanced Placement Pathways at Los Alamitos High School. Tonight, I'd like to introduce our two co-hosts for the evenings. My name is Andrea Reed. I currently serve as the Deputy Superintendent of Education Services, and I'm joined by...
Hello, my name is Jason Farver. I'm an assistant principal at Los Alamitos High School, and I oversee mostly academics and assessment.
So sorry you're not able to see us tonight. We had planned on a live stream that would show Dr. Farver and myself as well as the presentation, but we've run into some technical difficulties. So we hope that those of you who are joining us at home are able to catch our presentation. As a reminder to those that are joining us, we will be hosting a live Q&A directly after this presentation for any questions that parents may have in regards to the information that were presented tonight. So we're really excited to welcome our incoming class of 2025 to Los Alamitos High School. Your students will soon become part of the Griffin Legacy, where we focus on the 4 A's: academics, athletics, activities, and the arts. We're really focused on preparing your students to meet UC and CSU eligibility criteria, which you're going to be hearing a lot about tonight from Mr. Farver, and those are the A through G requirements. But on top of academics, we're really proud about the diverse programs we offer our students, from visual performing art programs to our award-winning athletic programs. So when your students move to Los Alamitos High School, they really are going to get the best of all that we have to offer: academics, athletics, activities, and the arts. As you transition from 8th grade to high school, there's a few key events you're going to want to put on your calendar. And so the first one is our 8th grade parent night, which will be on Wednesday, April 16th at 6:30 p.m. It will also include a live Q&A with counselors via Zoom. And so our 8th grade families will be receiving information on how to log into that presentation, as well as how to log on to the live Q&A with your Zoom via Parent Square in the upcoming week. We also are currently planning, but in mid to late May, our 8th grade athletic information night, which will also be hosted via Zoom. And right now, we're getting ready to begin the process of the registration for our incoming freshman class of 2025 at Los Alamitos High School. So at McCullough Middle School and at Oak Middle School, registration materials and links will be emailed home to families on Monday, April 12th. At both middle schools on April 22nd to April 23rd. We really do need to get those registration packets returned to your middle school core teacher so that our high school staff can begin to go through those recommendations and requests to build our master schedule for the upcoming school year. And then both McCullough and Oak students will remain with their teacher inside their core section or their social studies section, and they'll be joined via Zoom by the Los Alamitos High School counselor, who will provide students with additional information, and that will take place inside our school classrooms on April 26th and April 27th. We will follow the same process for those students in middle school who are currently in Los Al at home, and your Los Al at home teacher will be sharing the Zoom link so that you can meet and greet with your Los Alamitos High School counselor and make sure that all of the information that you've turned in for registration is up to date and accurate as we look to schedule your student as a freshman at the high school next school year. Transitioning from 8th grade to high school is a really exciting time, and it's a time when we all come together to prepare our 8th graders for high school. We select courses of study, we garner parent information, student information to make sure that courses are just right for each student. Students and families will be working with our high school counselor. Things to consider as you're building your schedule are academic, co-curricular, and personal commitments for your student as they traverse to their freshman school year next year. In addition, we partner with you to help your student find a balance in their pursuits, both in and out of school. And really, we're here to make sure that your students' interests and passions are developed in high school. And we know that during the course of their 4 years with us, we may see those interests and passions change as they really do evolve into young adults who are ready for high school and beyond. So I'm going to pass this section of the presentation over to Mr. Farver, who's going to continue to talk to our families at home tonight about the Griffin Plan.
Good evening, families. Thank you for joining us. As you begin this relationship with your high school counselor, they really are your point person to connect with for the next 4 years as you move through working with you and your student to plan what courses of interest and need are we going to accomplish each school year. Our Griffin Plan helps do that for you. They help get you from high school and unlock those post-secondary opportunities for students, which can range from trade and technical school, maybe the military, two-year colleges that are local, and even four-year colleges and university, both in and out of state. Keep in mind, and this one is sometimes hard when it arises, is that things will change. Your student interests in 9th grade may not be the same as they are in 12th grade, and so those regular annual or biannual check-ins that your counselor has with your student are really important to stay connected with that feedback, that reflection on experience. Were these courses this year the right ones for me? Did I feel like I was thriving and enjoying myself? Are they leading me towards a goal, or do I have a new goal and I need to find a way to get there? Our counselors are experts in their field and they're always available to you. You can email or call with any questions, or as some of those changes may arise, to connect with them and say, what's next? What do I need to do? Is there something I'm missing or something extra I can do? Or am I on the right path and I just need to change the emphasis of the courses I'm taking? They're really great in helping in all of those areas. Some terms you'll hear over the next 4 years that maybe seem nebulous or undefined at the moment are college prep, honors, and advanced placement. And something they all have in common is, in one form or another, they all accomplish the task of getting you from grade 9 to 12 and across the stage at graduation. But they all do it in equally great yet different ways. College prep are our courses that are all the things that you need. They're constructed around content standards, the framework of content delivery, and they provide necessary subject-specific skills in the areas in which you take them. For example, English in 9th grade tackles all the things that English freshmen need and to prepare them for English 2 in sophomore year. It also helps provide students with the checkboxes for their high school graduation needs, as well as fulfilling the opportunity to unlock applying to Cal States and UC colleges, because all college prep courses are A through G approved. A through G are the categories that are used to when you apply to a CSU or a UC college, and they fulfill a requirement, whether it be an English requirement, a science, a math. And so all our college prep offerings provide that, and they're really diverse. They are offered in every area: world language, our electives, our sciences, math, English, social studies. And so there's something for everyone at college prep. Honors does all the things that college prep does, plus it has expanded coverage of some content subject-specific skills. So in an honors course, they would cover everything your college prep course would cover, but they might go into more depth and detail on specific topics of learning. And not all, some are weighted when they are calculated into your student's GPA. We offer honors level courses in English, math, and world language. We'll talk about how we get honors curriculum in other areas that aren't listed, but I did want to make sure that you know we've got English levels all 4 years, math from freshman to senior, and world languages after level 1 from level 2 all the way through the end. Advanced placement offers everything that college prep offers, everything that honors offers, but they're a next step further. And these courses really are for students who have a drive or an interest or a passion in specific courses of study. They're guided by and designed by College Board. College Board is a private organization that you may be familiar with. They've developed the SAT, the PSAT, as well as AP courses. They are designed and audited to make sure that they are mirroring both the content and skills, as well as the habits of thinking for first and second year college courses. The perk to that extra effort and investment of time and study is that students can receive college credit if they pass the annual national exam offered by College Board in their field of study. All AP courses receive a weighted GPA in the student's high school GPA, And they really are suited for students who are independent self-starters, motivated, already have some skills to manage personal balance between both school and personal obligations and interests, and that usually they're passionate about the subject in which they're taking an AP, because if you like it, you love it when you're doing the work. To glance, I mentioned previously that we have honors and AP offerings throughout our content areas. You can see in English, there's something offered each year of study for your student that is above college prep. So English 1 honors is an alternate for freshmen, English 2, AP English language for juniors, and literature for seniors. In the maths, you can see we offer several courses for younger students, including geometry honors and algebra 2 trig. And then we move on as they've had more time to layer their mathematics learning. They can move on to pre-calculus and any one of the 3 AP offerings in that field. Our world language is quite diverse. We offer honors and AP in Spanish, French, and Japanese. And our sciences offer a host of APs ranging from biology and chemistry to physics, environmental science, and although our computer science courses count as A through G electives, they do have a science habit of mind that are associated with them. For students who are passionate about visual arts, even performing arts, we have AP Music Theory, as well as our studio and drawing arts, which are a year-long depth of exploration into the production of and study of artwork, and then the students create a portfolio which is adjudicated by College Board. And then in our history and social sciences, we offer world history, US, psychology, European history, human geography, as well as US government and macroeconomics. This slide is good because it's the one that you're going to deal with first. It's the glimpse at grade 9. Students in grade 9 have a 6-period day, which is a transition from the middle school where you do have a 7-period day. And so in order to move through each grade level while still accomplishing your graduation requirements, it's important that in each year you work to fulfill these individual categories. So your 9th grader will take an English course, a mathematics course, a lab science, and we do recommend that students start with biology, a world language. This is a good time to start a second language. Some students, though, have started in middle school and will be continuing a language upon arrival at the high school. An elective, fine art, visual, or performing. We also have career technical education courses and applied arts that are available for our students. And then PE or a sport or activity. In grade 10, students again still have 6 periods, and you can see how each category has moved from one grade to the next because each of these counts as a graduation requirement, and they build on one another. So a student, again, sophomore year, chooses, am I pushing myself and wanting to either continue or join the honors track in English? Where am I in my math trajectory? How did I do last year? You know, this is when in sophomore year, there's that reflective mindset of what happened the year before, how did it go for me, what did it take to feel confident and do well in that field of study, what do I think is a good next fit? And those conversations not only happen at home, but when you and your student connect with your counselor and maybe get some feedback from the classroom teacher. Lab science, chemistry or physics for sophomores, both do have a math overlay. They're a science that has a math focus. And so for chemistry, algebra 2 is currently the math that pairs nicely with chemistry because of the skills needed in both. In history and social science, your students will have taken a break from history in 9th grade. So the last time they've had a history course will have been in the 8th grade when they took US history. And so they'll be back in a history classroom where they can select from either world history or AP World History. Um, this is a good time. World History as college prep unlocks that A through G completion as well as high school graduation completion, whereas AP World History expands the scope of the content and goes further around the world and more in depth in certain regions and cultures, and then also comes with the end of year exam hosted by College Board for the potential to earn college credit. Your student should be continuing in a language because currently UCs and CSUs require 2 years, but 3 or 4 years is preferred. And then sophomores are still required to complete 10 credits of PE, which can be done through one of our PE offerings, which become more diverse sophomore year, or a sport or activity. I clicked forward too quickly, I apologize. In 10th grade, our students are we host our students in the PSAT. We did so this year, not remotely, but in person in socially distanced classrooms. And so that's something that's still continuing. The PSAT is an opportunity for students to get their feet wet and just understand what does that test look like and how did I feel about it and what might I need to do when I take it again my junior year in my last preparation before beginning the SAT. So there is kind of a divide between grades 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. And so before junior year begins, it's a good time to check in again with your student and think, how did the last 2 years go and what do we need or want out of the next 2 years? Junior year does become sometimes more challenging for most students. It's when they have both a sense of confidence and understanding of the high school experience, and many are ready to add even further challenge to their high school experience. And that could be not just academic challenge. They might get a job. They may have advanced in some other performing arts or social pursuits, clubs and organizations, both on and off campus. And so their time is becoming stretched a little thinner, while at the same time, many of them are choosing to increase in one area or maybe multiple areas their academic commitments. And so it's a good time to check in ahead of the start of grade 11 to really figure out where have we come from and where do we plan on going and what do we need to do to support academics, ourselves, and our activities. A good note is at the bottom bullet. It says it is encouraged that students take the PSAT in the fall and their first SAT or ACT in the spring of their junior year. And that's still good advice. But throughout the pandemic, both the CSUs and UCs have released updated guidance about their expectation for submitting SAT and ACT scores for admissions. And so students accepted through the fall of 2022 who are admitted to the CSUs have suspended SAT requirements for those students, and the UCs have gone test optional through the fall of 2022. After that, they have a tiered plan of what they plan to do about any testing, entrance testing for those two university systems. And by 2025, which are your students, they do have listed, it's likely that they will have their own internal entrance exam that your students will have an opportunity to take, but they haven't yet discussed many details beyond that being their plan. And so we'll definitely keep you apprised of that through our school site as well as through the counseling office. So grade 11, this is where more choice enters the equation. Yes, your student still takes another English course, either English 3, which is college prep, or in AP English language. But math looks very different. There's a host of options available to your student, both based on their preference, their strength, and if they're passionate about math. Lab science, if they've taken both biology and chemistry, your student has fulfilled their graduation requirement, as well as their CSU and UC entrance requirement. However, again, like the world languages, it is encouraged that they take 3 or 4 years of science. And so this is where your student can begin selecting from our college prep science options, electives like marine biology and anatomy and physiology, or pursue some deeper interests in AP chemistry or AP biology, environmental science, or physics. History and social science, they do have to take a US history course, but it can be US history college prep. But if they really enjoy that study, they can go more in depth and pursue AP US history. World language, this is a time when the students are either at their 3rd or 4th year on that trajectory. And as they continue, if they take 4 years of a language in high school, they are eligible to earn the California State Seal of Biliteracy, which in some fields outside of post-secondary have real benefits. This is one example. We do have a student who became a lifeguard for Seal Beach and had earned the Seal of Biliteracy and, was hired at a better pay grade because they could help translate while working on the job. That's just one of the perks of the Seal of Biliteracy. And then juniors have that real open-ended spot because no longer do they need PE. They fulfilled their 20 credits towards graduation. And so they get to begin selecting from all of our robust elective options or continuing in a field of study. Maybe they're a student who has pursued art for the last 3 years, or they're involved in any of our activities and performing arts. Maybe they are an athlete. And so they, again, have many choices. And you can see that thought bubble. It's a reminder that grade 11 is when students traditionally take their first SAT or ACT, but because of the changed and evolving guidance from both our UC and CSU systems and private universities across the United States, this might not be something that by the time your student is in grade 11, that is necessarily the trajectory they're on because of what's needed by those spaces. And grade 12, you've made it, you've helped your student through the last 3 years. And again, there are many, many options available for students in a wide variety of areas. The 3 courses they're required to take to fulfill their graduation needs is an English course and a history course in government, as well as a semester of economics. Those 3 things every student senior year, by senior year, needs to have accomplished. And the rest really are those spaces where students can slot in their passions and pursuits and the things they love about coming to Los Alamitos High School, including athletics, performing arts, as well as any one of our courses that are available. Sometimes students elect to pursue coursework over the summer, and these are very select instances, and it is not required. However, if your student chooses to pursue off-site coursework over the summer, you can get the request form, and we do a request form for a couple of reasons. We want to make sure that the course your student is electing to take is not only something that makes sense to add to their transcript at Los Alamitos High School, but also that it's appropriate and we can do that. The worst thing ever would be a student signs up and completes over the summer extra coursework that is not accredited or UC CSU approved. And that would just be a waste of time and potentially a waste of money in some instances, and that would be bad. So to prevent that, you can get the form that you see on your screen. You can email me directly or lahs_academics@losal.org, and we can provide this to you. Again, this is an option for some students. Some students open up because, let's say, they're in student government and an athlete, and they need an extra space in their day to make both of those pursuits work. Maybe they play an instrument and they're in a performing art, and they need space to make those 2 interests work. This is not required. Sometimes when I speak about it, I'm apprehensive because I think people might hear that I'm telling them to do this. I'm just letting you know of the option and how to be successful. It is not required. The resources page here can be linked, will link you to our homepage. We have a lot of great resources. You can connect with your counselor that way. It has their name and email addresses. Please stay logged into Aries. It's a great way to stay connected to your students so you can have those meaningful, crucial conversations about how are you doing, what do you need, and what can we do together. College Board manages the PSAT, the SAT, and AP programs, and so you can go to the parents.collegeboard.org website and learn more about what they're doing both during the pandemic and what their plans are for the future. And for students, you can check in at collegeboard.org, and there's a host of free resources so you can learn more about what they provide and offer and what it means to enjoy doing those programs and to be successful. The ACT is also a great location, and they also connect you to career education. So does College Board, actually. They both link you to career education areas of focus so you can start plotting what it is you might need to do for your 4 years of high school to do the next step afterwards. And then both the UC website and the CSU website are great places to check out what they're doing for future applicants and what's going to be needed for your students as they near the end of their junior year and the beginning of application season in their senior year.
Thank you so much, Mr. Farver. Well, our presentation went super speedy tonight since we aren't able to have you with us joining here as a live audience. So we hope that many of you who may have questions, this is a lot of information. So we first wanted to share that this is the first time of many, many times that you as a parent are going to be hearing information about the coursework for a student who's interested in making their way through the honors and advanced placement pathways. You'll be meeting numerous times this school year, numerous times your freshman and sophomore year, as you really work with your student and your high school counselor to fine-tune a schedule that's going to meet all of your students' academic as well as social interest, paired with the interest you have as a family for the opportunities you'd like available to you when your student leaves and graduates from Los Alamitos High School. So we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. We will be posting this presentation on our YouTube channel as well as the Los Alamitos High School YouTube channel with a link on our district website. And we will be starting our live Q&A Zoom session a little early since we're done here. So it's currently 6:27 p.m. And so we'll open up our live Zoom session at 6:40 p.m. for those families who would like to join Mr. Farver and myself and get some questions answered about the information presented. If you need access to that live Zoom link, please check your email or your parents, where both Dr. Weiss-Wright and Mrs. Kaminsky have sent out emails that have that live link embedded in them. So we're so excited about seeing your new freshmen on campus next school year, welcoming the class of 2025, and for seeing some of you in the next 10 minutes joining us for a live Q&A with Mr. Farver and myself. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a lovely Monday evening.